Hey guys, what's up? MajesticGaming here, and today I want to do another video on Halo Infinite, just kind of discussing what we know about the game currently at this point as we close 2018 and 2019 starts the year in which we probably will receive a bunch of news about Halo Infinite, probably a release date, probably just a bunch of gameplay, and pretty much just the full reveal of the game. So as we start moving into that part of the year, and just kind of seeing what we are going to maybe see throughout the year for this game, I just kind of want to go through what we know right now, go through some rumors, and all this stuff isn't going to be like new information necessarily, since all the most recent stuff was from the live stream a few weeks ago, and that was still, like I said, a few weeks ago. So like I said, not all super new info, just kind of going through what I think about some of the news we did get at that point, and just kind of giving a quick summary on what we do know, and hopefully what I want to see moving forward as we start getting more news on this game. So being first, obviously Halo Infinite is being developed for Xbox One and PC. I mentioned this before, but I think this is really good that Halo is back on PC, and just for the importance of the future of Xbox, this obviously is huge. And since obviously Xbox is kind of weird, this console generation, they've been not doing too hot, and so now they've got their whole Play Anywhere system, which is like, hey, if you buy it on Xbox, get it on PC, and vice versa. So that's kind of weird, but it's cool that they're going in that direction, I guess. And like I said, they are doing something as well this generation. Either way, I do think it's cool that they are moving in that direction, once again including Halo on PC for this next game. I think that's a good decision. Next thing, we do know the game will be using the new Slipspace engine that is going to use previous elements from the previous Halo engine. So this is cool because the current engine that Halo's been using for all their games that Bungie originally made, that they've just been modifying and adding on to every single game, is really integral to what Halo is. It kind of gives it its personality, and I don't really know how to describe it. It's just that's Halo. Like, there's nothing else like Halo except for Halo, and a big part of that is due to that engine. So I'm really excited to see kind of the mix of the new stuff they add in this engine, see kind of how, I guess, new and modern it is, and just see how that merges with the original Halo elements that, like I said, make it such an integral part of the series and so important to so many people, including myself. And even if it's not something you really think about very often, you'll notice a difference when it's most likely changed when the new Slipspace engine is finally played on. You will notice a difference, and especially if it was just a completely new engine, you would definitely notice that it doesn't really feel like Halo. So it's good that they are going to be using the previous elements from the previous Halo engine in this new one. I'm pretty excited about that. Next, the game will focus on Master Chief and continue his saga after the events of Halo 5. Great, I'm super excited to hear this. After Halo 5, he should be the focus, and I like the Halo 5 story. It's not great, it's not very good, there are too many unnecessary characters, the story's convoluted, it doesn't really make a ton of sense, and it's just the writing's not good, just a lot of things about that story are not good. However, what does have me excited is the world that this story could lead into for Halo Infinite. So we know that Cortana's kind of leading her AI revolution or whatever, don't really know how to describe it, but you guys know. She shows up to Infinity at the end, and I think depending on how long this game takes place after Halo 5, I think there's some really cool things they could do with having this world, this like AI run kind of, not apocalypse, but like you guys know what I'm saying, like a world being run by Cortana's like AI minions or whatever, and just seeing how Master Chief has to deal with that and seeing how the entire world has changed. I think that could be really cool. So I'm excited about that aspect of it and just kind of seeing where all our characters are at. I think they have an opportunity here to kind of salvage the best things from that kind of crap story into something really cool, or really simple, I guess, just to make a cool, streamlined, simple Halo story starring Master Chief and just what he thinks about all of this in Halo Infinite. It can be more focused on like him as a person, like in Halo 4. It can be more just like the scale of it, the more setting stuff like in Reach, or it can just be more the simple, streamlined story like in Halo 3. I'd be fine with either of those approaches. Any of them I would still really enjoy, as long as it's not Halo 5. Either way though, the fact that it will focus on Master Chief is definitely a plus and definitely a step in the right direction. Next thing, black undersuits are confirmed to return. So I've never actually been a huge proponent of we need black undersuits right now. They were never a huge deal to me, but I obviously know a ton of people in the community feel differently, and it's more of just them saying that they're listening to the community, and I think that's cool. Once again, it's more of just like a message, hey, we hear you guys about so many things, including the art style stuff in this game, which we'll get to in a second, but just it's more of them listening. And I do think the black undersuits make it look not as cartoonish, because especially once Halo started transitioning to that T rating in Halo 5 and they just had the colored undersuits, I did think it looked kind of weird. It never really took me out of it. I was never like, oh god, that looks terrible, but you definitely could tell a little bit of difference even if you didn't really point out exactly what it was. They definitely looked different than the Spartans in the original games. That sort of military-esque look that just looks so kind of definitive about them and so official, I guess, and respectable. They just kind of look like cartoon characters, especially when they started adding in all the weird helmets and stuff, and also with all the weird art style stuff that, like I said, we'll talk about in a second. So cool. Add black undersuits back. Very happy to hear that. Next, with the return to a more classic Halo art style. This has been demanded by the community so much for years, and I actually am super happy to see that they're actually going through with this. This was never really my biggest problem with 343's games, but I still consider it really important, especially with so many different things in the art style that make it distinctly Halo. I'm happy that so many people are going to get what they consider to be Halo, and I've talked about this before, and it's kind of hard to say because there's not really a definitive look for Halo. Some people started playing Halo with Halo Reach, and they consider that really military-esque look art style to be their Halo definitive art style. Obviously they never got that again, but they consider that, and maybe they want that for Halo Infinite. Some people consider the new 4 and 5 art style that 343 was doing to be their art style, and a lot of people, which is obviously what they're really catering to here, consider the original trilogy, Bungie's original vision for these games, to be the Halo art style that most people would think of. So I like either of them. I don't love the new art styles as much. I think it looks a bit too cartoonish, and it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's not those original games. It's not like as good in my opinion. I don't think it kind of serves the story and this whole universe that they've been setting up when you drastically change so much of the art style stuff, and I just don't think it works as well. I still like a lot of the stuff they've done. I like Master Chief's new armor, and I don't hate like some of the like Elite redesigns. I don't hate some of the Forerunner stuff. I'm fine with, but things like the Marines, those look trash, and just a lot of things were not made well with their new art style changes. So I'm happy to see that they will be returning to a more classic art style, and just what we can see from Master Chief's armor, I'm very excited to see what else we have a look at in this universe and see how it's changed, even things like Cortana, as I assume she will be in the game. Very happy to see that, and I'm just very happy that they will definitely be listening on that front. Next is going to be the Reach-inspired player customization. Guys, I am so excited about this, and this is definitely the most exciting news I've heard concerning this game. Reach, obviously, to most people in the series, has the best armor customization in any of the games, just the amount of variety and different armors you had. And I'm not talking about variety like Halo 5's 230 armors they have, and 230 helmets, and that's it. No, there was actually variety with you customize the right shoulder, the left shoulder, the torso, the helmet, the visor. You had the different like armor effect thingies that goes on your head, like the shocking one and all that, and the hearts that were flying around. You had all that different stuff. You had like the knee guards and the armor things and the wrist gauntlets, just all the different things you could do, and it was awesome, and every Spartan looked different. And I just loved that so much. I loved Reach, and I still love Reach. So to see that they're actually going to be taking inspiration from that game for armor customization, especially since in their games they've just been decreasing it so much. And in Halo 5, it's just pathetic, really, their armor customization, especially with like pre-made emblems and stuff like that. No, give us the option to make our own Spartan like that, how we couldn't Reach, where every single person's Spartan was distinctly different, and just have it be like that. Have you make your own emblems again, and just introduce that. I'm super excited to hear that, and I definitely can't wait to actually see what their whole armor customization screen looks like in this game, and I just really am excited. Next, we do know that there will be flighting programs that allow players to give direct feedback for the game. So this is good. It's another great addition, and this really helped with things like the MCC updates, which is obviously where they've been testing this out at. So I am really excited to see it kind of on a bigger scale with an entire game, not just an update for the Master Chief Collection. So that was really cool, downloading the MCC Insider program and playing the different flights as they would get updated, and just kind of giving feedback on Halo Waypoint and all that kind of stuff. I think that's really cool, so to see that they will be doing that, to give feedback instead of just a beta where they have it once and you play it and that's kind of it, to see that they're going to have this flighting program with all the different layers to it and all the different levels that you're going to keep being able to play through and keep on adding to the game, I think is a really good step, and hopefully something that will hopefully make people allowed to give their feedback and make the game as good as it can be for the fans. Next, we do know, kind of obvious, but players who reach level 152, that's confirmed to be the max rank, will receive a special award. Not too big of a deal, but it's cool. Hopefully this is a sign that armor as a level award will be common in the game, since really in Halo 5 you couldn't unlock any armor through actual skill unless it was like the Achilles armor, and that was really hard to get for a lot of people unless they were part of like a Spartan company. So that is cool. Hopefully this is a sign, like I said, but I do appreciate that, at least for getting the max rank in the game, or the max level, you will be getting a special reward, hopefully a piece of armor. It could be something stupid, they haven't specified obviously what it is, but I'm assuming it will be a piece of armor or an emblem or just something cool like that. So hopefully, like I said, this is more telling of their progression system as a whole. We also know that 343 are in the process of starting a Halo Infinite Pro team. This isn't a huge deal to me. I'm not a huge fan of esports, even like Halo esports. I've watched a couple Halo 5 matches and they can be pretty cool. I actually watched like a lot of fighting game stuff like Mortal Kombat and Injustice and stuff. I think that's pretty fun, but for Halo Infinite starting a pro team, I think this is cool. And really, if this can just help Halo become a major esport again and bring kind of more life to Halo, bring it more like exciting, give it to a wider spectrum of people, I think that'd be really cool. and it just make it a bigger deal again in esports. I think this is really awesome, and it's cool that they're already thinking about this early into development, even though we don't really know how early they are into development. They said it might be a little while, obviously, before we even get another look at the game. It is cool that they are thinking about this right now. And something I'm sure many are relieved to hear, we do know that the game will not include real money loot boxes. So this doesn't entirely eliminate the problem, because we do know that the rec system will most likely be in the game. Frank O'Connor's statements a while ago and all that stuff. And Microsoft would be stupid to not be like, hey, 343, go ahead and that thing that made us so much money in the last game, go ahead and stick it in there. So I obviously don't think the rec system will just be gone, but hopefully it'll be adjusted so much so you won't just be able to buy a bunch of stuff like you could and go into Warzone, all that stuff. So we do know that it won't include real money loot boxes, which is so exciting. And it's just good to hear, and will definitely make the rec system better no matter how else it's implemented in the game. The fact that you want to be able to drop down $100 and have every single weapon and armor in the game is really exciting. And again, that doesn't mean that you won't be able to pay real money and like buy an armor specifically that you want, just that you won't be able to pay $10 and gamble on a different box that you don't know what's included. Obviously, I think this makes a lot of sense with all the different legal stuff that's been going on the last like few months with, or not even Battlefront 2 last year, but just all the different stuff going on with that lately and how dangerous a lot of people are viewing it as getting. They're like having to put warnings, the ESRB is having to put warnings on boxes now, just all the different stuff with that makes sense. It's still a good sign though. We also know that the game will include 4-player split screen, which is awesome. I don't have too much to say about this. Everyone knows this is great. It's actually really cool that you're going with 4-player and not just 2. It's another great addition. Obviously, after Halo 5, fans have been begging for split screen, and the fact that they're going all the way with it, not just 2-player but 4-player, is really, really cool. And once again, a sign that 343 does seem to be listening. And also something that we don't really know too much about that's kind of interesting is that we do know that Halo Infinite will feature a living, breathing world ripe for exploration and endless gameplay possibilities. So this could kind of just be like talky talk, like advertising stuff like, hey, look at this world that you're going to be able to explore. But the way that they've said it kind of leads some people to believe maybe it'll be like an open world, or maybe it'll be like a hub world like Halo 5 was originally supposed to have with the different hub worlds. You could do all that different stuff. So it's interesting. It could be open world. I don't think they're really going to go that direction, but I could definitely see something with them maybe having like different hub worlds all around the galaxy that you could travel to and just kind of hang around and do different stuff. I think that'd be really, really cool. Kind of like the sections in Halo 5, but not that at all. Like the guns down, not like that, but just way better. So I could definitely see them doing something like that, especially with some stuff we'll get into in a second. I think it'd be really cool, and just this kind of open world for players to explore in a Halo game, I think has a lot of potential. We also know that they did say it is a long way off from when we saw it at E3 2018. This makes sense. We probably won't see more until E3 of this year, so we probably won't have much to talk about until then, until they release like a gameplay trailer or just something. Probably not that even, just like we'll keep getting little teases and little news droplets like we have been getting the last 6 months. So that's fine. I'm fine to wait till E3 2019 as long as they take as much time as they need to make the game as good as possible. We also know that playable elites are not deconfirmed, which means they're not confirmed, but they haven't flat out said no, they're not in the game. So I'm really excited for this. I think there is a good chance for them to be in the game, since 343 is apparently doing so much right so far with all this, so it does seem like there's a good chance for them to be in the game. It just has to be said that they went out of their way not to say no, they're not in the game, but they also didn't say yeah, we're doing it in the game. So we don't know what that has to say yet, but I do think there's hope, and this definitely is a good sign that they didn't come out and just flat out deny that elites are going to be playable in the game. Also, let's touch on some rumors before we close out this video. That stuff people have been thinking about lately. We do think that some people believe that the campaign will release before the multiplayer, with the campaign releasing like in 2019 and the multiplayer releasing in 2020. That was a rumor that was going around for a little while. I think that's really weird. I actually hope that's not true. I kind of like having a complete package at launch with everything, and if I have to wait like another half year for that, I would much rather do that. So hopefully that doesn't end up being true. I'm not a big fan of that. We also, like I said, talked about the open world. We already discussed that, but a lot of people think that it will include some open world of some sort. And the last big rumor, thanks to a job listing that 343 put up, is that the game will feature RPG elements of some sort. This is really interesting, but I also couldn't really see it in a Halo game. Maybe like in this main story, you like have different weapons that you can upgrade, just like any RPG. And keep in mind this says RPG elements, kind of like think of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where the game isn't a full-on RPG, but it has, that game's getting pretty close, but it has RPG elements with just like adding on, getting different weapons, leveling up, and I couldn't really see that honestly in a Halo game. Maybe I could, but like for this game, the next mainline game in the series, I couldn't really see it. So obviously though, they put that job listing up, that's real, so they are looking for someone with RPG expertise, so I don't know what that has to say, but it is clear that the game will include RPG elements, at least of some sort, so I'm really curious to see what those will be implemented like, and just how those will affect the entire game as a whole. And guys, that's pretty much it. I think I covered most of what pretty much we know everything about this game, and as we move into 2019, we're probably not going to see this game, like I said, until E3 2019, which I'm fine with. I don't really want to see too much until then. Obviously, I like getting these little news implements like we've been getting the last 6 months, and just getting things, the info like split screen, 4-player split screen, they have it running, is super exciting to hear, and just hearing things like little things about the story, and like the reach customization, that's just so awesome. And for them to just not be completely radio silent, and just to be like, yeah, we are working on this, here's some little information here and there, until you guys hold you over for E3 2019, which, like I said, probably won't see it again. If we see anything before then, I don't think we will, and then hopefully by then we'll at least get like a release date of like something 2020 or 2019 or whatever we get. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought about all this Halo Infinite news that we talked about today and just kind of the summary stuff. When do you guys think we'll see the game next? And tell me what you thought about all of this different stuff we talked about. Thank you guys for watching. Majestic Gaming.